Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the WrestleTalk Podcast YouTube channel for your favorite Mocha Brothers on a Wednesday. I am back with Mommy Nyangi's baby boy, Sat E. And what does the E stand for this Wednesday?
I'm going for it. The E stands for epic. Every Wednesday, the only time you get some BBC content on WrestleTalk. When I say BBC, get your mind out of the gutter. I'm talking about beautiful black content, guys. Yeah.
That BBC in your airwaves, on your screen, beautiful black content. Yes, and we are here to talk about NXT 2.0, NXT Spring Breaking Special. And yes, I am still in the UK, so it is 7 p.m. UK time, or
7:02.
7:02. I guess I'm a minute behind. But yes,
No. I'm a minute ahead. I have to be ahead of the curve.
Head of the curve. But yes, we are here to talk about Spring Breaking NXT 2.0. But we are also here to talk about the face of the NXT 2.0 women's division, the viral superstar herself, Nikkita Lyons, aka the American Cream Busty Rose, aka Yam Yam Bigelow, aka Squirt Henning, aka
Squirt
Ultimo
Angle.
Ultimo Wagon, aka yes, we are in here to talk about Nikkita Lyons because the news this week, Sat, is someone that you're a big fan of, Uncle Dave Meltzer, on the Sunday Night's Main Event podcast, talked about how WWE upper management is looking at Nikkita Lyons as like their next face of the women's division, and like they have been surprised by how viral she has become. She's become a social media icon. Her debut went viral with everybody sharing it, everybody like, look at this woman in all of her beauty, all of her booty, all of the greatness that she provides. And of course, she has been getting the big push on NXT 2.0, so we're here to talk about it. So do you think that Dave Meltzer is on the money here? Because, you know, we always sprinkle a little star with Uncle Dave Meltzer because we don't know how many he's putting back time to time. But what do you think? Do you think that he's on the money here and that the management sees what Nikkita Lyons is pushing forth and enjoying what she's been providing us every Tuesday on NXT 2.0?
If I can be serious for a moment, Uncle Dave, as much as we rag on him sometimes, I love Uncle Dave. I respect him. Without Uncle Dave, probably wouldn't be here. We're like gremlins, the B-word child of Dave Meltzer. B-word mod mother, I'm learning. The answer is yes, he's right. So just to do a little history, a little context for the folks, back in the 90s, back in the era when Pamela Anderson was running around in the beach in a bikini in Baywatch, Vince McMahon wanted to push his own blonde bombshell. He had Sunny. Sunny had charisma, but she also had issues. She had the demons, as they call it. He had Marlena. She's all right, but, you know, Golda, she's married, whatever. Then Sable came along. Sable was this big sex symbol, a sex icon for the WWE, Playboy, etc. we know already. So you had Sable. Then the next one to be the next sex symbol was Trish Stratus. But unlike Sable, she was more like the Canadian girl next door with huge gazongas. Okay? You like that. I'll be watching some American movies. You guys love adjectives, verbs, words for the boobies. So yes, you had Trish Stratus. And after Trish Stratus left, WWE tried really hard with Candice Michelle. She didn't take. WWE wanted Emelina. You mean Emma, great wrestler, but they wanted to be a sex symbol. That didn't work. Then there was this Russian lady with an American accent sometimes called Lana. She was the next bid to be the next big sex symbol. But the only issue was Lana's skill in the ring wasn't at the level they needed it to be. They wanted to make her champion, but she wasn't that great, unfortunately. Then Mandy Rose. But at the same time, Mandy Rose didn't have the larger than life personality. Well, I'm not saying Sabre had a larger than life personality, just like the Attitude Era, everyone was over. Even Val Venus was over. Like everyone was over in the Attitude Era. So yeah, So Mandy Rose didn't have the larger than life personality to pull off her looks. So what makes Nikkita Lyons not a frog, but the actual princess is the fact that she is like the. So where did the others fail? Basically, it's not about the boobies anymore. It's about the booty, if you know what I mean. So Nikkita Lyons is like the Kim Kardashian generation, where the booty has overtaken the 90s boobies. Because in the 90s, you like plastic boobies. In the 21st century, we like booty, including surgically enhanced booty for some. So Nikkita Lyons.
Almost made me drop my mic.
Oh yeah, Eva Marie. Thank you to Andrew Ferguson. I'm shouting you out. Eva Marie was another bid for the sex symbol. She again, like Mandy Rose or like Lana, she didn't improve hard enough, and she basically had even less charisma than Ronda Rousey.
I think it's pretty close, but I would say
I love you, Ronda. Don't look at this and want to kill me for an interview one day. Yes. So Nikkita Lyons, she's like the Zoomers. Really?
No, I'm telling Rhonda you said it, not me.
No, because you can, because you got family there. So for the Zoomer generation, for the millennial generation, Nikkita Lyons matches what the beauty standard is. It's about beauty standards, and she ticks all the boxes. She's got the boobies, she got the booty, she's got the face, not the singing voice, but in the ring she fights like Meng. She's a modern day Haku. So that's the history lesson done. That was me being serious. Thank you, guys.
No, I love it. The Serious Sat that we debuted last week. He's
Sirius
doing well.
Black. Great Harry Potter character.
Sirius Black. There you go. But yeah, I think he's on the money here. I think Nikkita Lyons, she's got talent, she's got the it factor, she's got charisma to her, and like I said, there's something about her that just attracts people. She has that aura. It like Wade Barrett always says every week, she is the thirst trap of NXT 2.0, and she gets the clicks. She should have the gimmick that Grayson Waller pretends to have, because she has the followers. I think she has more followers than Grayson Waller already on social media, and she actually is the viral superstar of the brand. So it makes a whole world of sense to me.
Here's her problem. She's miscast as a babyface. Yeah, she gets a reaction, but I feel like it's weird. She's one of those characters I feel like she needs to be a heel to maximize her career, to wherever charisma she does have. I feel like she can maximize it more as a thick mean girl than like they're making her, because as a baby face, I don't know. Wrestling fans need a reason to like you. And I guess at the moment, because it's CWC, they're easily entertained. You show them a left toe in it and you're over. I guess her being thick is a thing, but she's advanced in the ring. She's better than Raquel Rodriguez. She did a standing blockbuster. When we get to it, I'm going to break it down. She had a standout performance. She, for me, was the MVP of the tag team match from yesterday's spring breaking. But
let's get to it. Since we're already talking about Nikkita Lyons, she was in action on spring breaking, teaming up with Cora Jade, one of the other like up and coming faces of the NXT 2.0 women's division, and they faced the mainstay Natalya and Lash legend. Nikkita and Lash, I put immediately, the first part of this match that kind of stood out for me is the two, as we called it, the two female horses, Nikkita and Lash slugging it out with each other. They fought to the outside, a big hard bump on the floor before the commercial break. After commercial, Lash and Natalya isolated Cora. Nikkita gets the hot tag. She comes in with her offense, the kicks, the strikes is on the money. It gets better and better every week. You can see it improving. Her strikes are much better than Paige Van Zandt. On Dynamite from last week until Legend gets the tag. So they start trading roll-ups like sunset flip by Nikkita Lyons, and then Lash reverses it into a 2 count, and then Nikkita turns it back, but Natty comes in and tries to break up the pin, but instead she kicks Legend right in the face. Lyons gets rid of Natty and hits a German suplex on Lash Legend, and then Nikkita hits her split leg drop into the top rope senton by Cora Jade for the win. I said that this match was solid, but I agree with you. Nikkita Lyons was the standout. She is my pick to win the women's breakout tournament. I think that this is the money matchup. Nikkita Lyons versus Mandy Rose. Like you already gave us the outline, the lineage of the hot girl that WWE tries to put all the spotlight on. And I feel like this is the hot girl summer. This is the big summer matchup for NXT 2.0. Nikkita Lyons versus Mandy Rose. What did you think about the tag match?
Mayor Painesville Dan, you should record this moment what I'm about to say right now. So since I compare Nikkita Lyons to Haku Meng with her strikes, she should go full pelt. Rename the Tongan Death Grip to the Fongan Death Grip.
That dong, da dong, dong, dong.
Exactly.
I like the way the booty go, dun dun dun. Make it with the booty go.
No. Oh, but Cora Jade did do a cool springboard hurricane run in the match. I give her that. But I feel like Nikkita has usurped her. It's like the Bret Hart, Lex Luger, Royal Rumble 1994 moment when you realize who's more over, who's got even more exciting movesets. Even though Cora Jade, you know, she had an indie run. She's known as a princess of death matches or whatever. But she hasn't really...
Well, she was.
Well, she did death matches as Elena Black. Elena Black,
she did one or two, but she ain't no princess of death matches. She ain't Sawyer out here. Sawyer. She had a great death match with Slade.
She ain't no Moose Knuckles.
There you go. But no, Cora Jade has some talent, but there's just something missing there. And I think it's the fact that she's still getting used to this whole Avril Lavigne character that they have her playing, and I don't think that it connects very well with her. Like we've established before, she doesn't really know how to ride the skateboard. She almost fell
like
off.
my niece.
Didn't she almost fell off the skateboard on this show? Like she didn't know where the skateboard went when she jumped off of it.
She skateboards like this, guys, like a little penguin. Bless her. She is like a dynamic dude 2.0. That's like a deep cut for people that grew up in the 90s or 80s. You know what I mean. For you Zoomers, go on Wikipedia. So yeah, the match was fine. It's what it needed to be. It didn't hit all the beats. It wasn't like match of the year candidate. I felt like it ticked the box. It's like get the rookies some rep. Lash Legend was in the ring. She did some knees in the face. She's doing more hot stuff. Her style, she's more of like the plodding Raquel Rodriguez type in the ring. And she does that thing where she slaps herself with makeup or air slaps herself and does the elbow drop. But Nikkita Lyons, for me, like I can't praise her enough. I'm praising her so much that you can call me a WWE bot. I am a WWE bot. I am saying great things about NXT right now. Nikkita is incredible, and I don't mind her getting the NXT Women's Championship. Heck, put her in the main roster because she's even more ready than Raquel Rodriguez, who had how many years there and still wrestles a bit of a man match.
I think Raquel Rodriguez has improved greatly.
Her power bombs, yeah, she improved her power bomb, yeah.
She's improved overall, just timing, her footwork wise. I like Raquel Rodriguez. I'm not gonna bash her like Sat is.
Yeah, because Sid's fine with her controlling her narrative.
No, I'm not fine with that. I'm talking about her in-ring work, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get me wrong. But we want to hear from all of you about NXT 2.0, about spring breaking. What do you think about this new report about Nikkita Lyons? Do you believe she is the future face of the women's division for WWE and she's the most likely to get called up to the main roster? WrestleTalk.com/support. Send in those Mochachats. We're going to read all your Mochachats at the end of this podcast, so don't you worry, we are going to get to it, but send those in because we want to hear from all of you, ladies and gentlemen, because Mocha 2.0 is nothing without all of you. We are interactive here, so send those in. WrestleTalk.com/support, and remember, drop a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you are new to the WrestleTalk Podcast YouTube channel. But let's start from the beginning of the show for NXT 2.0 spring.
Yes, boy.
Breaking, yes, because our boys, the best looking NXT tag team champions of all time.
Us? It should be us, right?
We are the Mocha Pretty Deadly. We are.
Yes, bro. Yes, bro.
Yes,
bro.
bro.
Yes, bro. In the UK, yes, bro.
Yes, bro. Yes, bruv. Yes, we get a sizzling hot open with Pretty Deadly covering everything that we're gonna see on the show. They would appear later on in the night, but that segued very nicely into our opener of the show. And in my opinion, the peak of this entire show was the opener, as we had Cameron Grimes defending the NXT North American Championship against the former champion, the A champion, Carmelo Hayes, as well as Sola Sokoa, or Sequoia, as I've been saying over the last couple of weeks. Melo
That's your
comes out.
gimmick. Stick to your gimmick. His name is Sequoia. You're meant to make people think you can't pronounce his name.
I know.
You're meant to annoy people that actually fall for that.
I know. Melo comes out with the "What a Championship Needs" shirt. I thought that was a nice little touch. That's been his catchphrase ever since he's lost the title. And the CWC once again booing Cameron Grimes during the introductions. Do you think the honeymoon is over with Cameron Grimes and this is officially going to be his reaction from here on out? Or do you think that he did something wrong to Izzy's parents?
I think everyone go, that's not my Cameron Grimes. He looks too clean. I want my dirty swamp man back. Where's the top hat? The top is the curse. He left the top hat behind. He's not as hairy as he used to be. He's friendlier. I miss when he was a killer. Do you remember he used to win matches on like under 5 seconds? That was his gimmick. Do you remember that, guys? That was a thing. He used to win. He was a killer.
Remember the whole feud he had with Kushida was over his hat.
Yeah.
Was over Kushida taking his hat, and now he doesn't even wear the hat.
He was multifaceted. Not, you know what it is? I think I'm giving CWC too much credit. You know when you can smell phoniness? Yo, Shawn Michaels 96. That babyface run is disingenuous. That's what it is. This is Cameron Grimes being told how to be, and this is him taking a mission statement and trying to do his best as he can. He can be a babyface. I mean, that feud with LA Knight, he proved to be a sympathetic jerk. I mean, he even stole money back from a valet that was looking after his car. That Cameron Grimes was more like an Eddie Guerrero, where you're face but you're cheeky. You still maintain that character lineage. What happened to Cameron Grimes? He got 90s WWF babyface, where everything that made you cool, people liked you in the beginning. No, we're going to strip you away. He did the whole thing, tribute to his dad, fair enough, but after that, it's like, who is this guy? Are you still rich?
Yeah, we don't even hear about his money anymore. Like, it's very weird how we talked about it in depth on the way to Stand and Deliver, the crying promos, the tribute to the dad. It was supposed in WWE's mind to make him a sympathetic babyface, but it's really stripped away his identifiable gimmick. So I kind of understand where the CWC fans are coming from. But this match started with both Grimes and Solo double teaming Melo after he trash talks both men, leaving it to the two baby faces. A nice hip toss by Cameron Grimes on Melo. He turns it into a Hurricane Rana on Solo, which starts to give Hayes control. He hits the springboard leg drop going in reverse on Grimes, called the fadeaway. Love that name. That should be the leg drop off the top ropes, because I don't know his finisher, the one that he hits the leg drop on the guy's head.
The one that's going to make him retire at the age of 45 over a bad back. That leg drop.
Yeah, that one.
That
one that he won't be using when he gets to the main roster.
That Cena leg drop from the top rope. The one Batista broke his leg. That one.
Yes.
He does the reverse Cena. He does the reverse Cena leg drop from the ropes, right?
Or just fit the whole gimmick. If the springboard leg drop in reverse is the fadeaway, then the one off the top rope should be like the game winner or something like that. Like, make it all Melo can't miss. Make it all basketball names for his finisher, because they haven't even gave his finisher a name. But this match had a lot of like three-way offense, which really made it different from other triple threats that we've seen, but was very familiar to the other triple threat that we've seen with Cameron Grimes lately, how he qualified for the Stand and Deliver ladder match against Roger Strong and A-Kid. So we saw Solo hitting Grimes with a super kick into Hayes with a code red. We also saw Sokoa reversing a Grimes Hurricane Rana into a power bomb, while Cameron hits a superplex on Melo. That's got "This Is Awesome" chants from the CWC crowd. We get a three-way strike exchange, ends with Solo stacking Grimes in the tree of woe, as well as Hayes is sitting in the corner and he hits the running hip attack. Sokoa follows with an overhead German suplex on Grimes and then hits a power bomb on Hayes onto Cameron. We get Grimes hits a double Hurricane Rana on both men, but then Hayes hits a poison Rana on Cameron for a 2 count. Mello reverses the cave-in into a code breaker for a close near fall. These false finishes were great, and it got you even more invested into this match. But the finish comes as Hayes goes for his top rope leg drop, but Sikoa catches him with a super kick. He follows with the Uso splash on Grimes for a near fall as Hayes breaks it up, and then Solo reverses Hayes's code red into a Samoan drop. But before he can finish the Samoan drop, Grimes comes off the second rope with the cave in and pins Solo for the win. I thought that this was a great opener. It subverted the whole triple threat formula of 2 in, 1 out, as there was a lot of 3-way offense that just kept you into the action, nonstop action in this one, and a great way to kick off this show. But like I said, this was kind of the peak as far as in-ring action for this show. But what did you think, Sat?
I feel like the match pace never slowed down, which made it incredible. It was go, 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 go. And at one point, Mello did a head scissors into a face buster. You know, like you do a head scissors, you're trying to do it, turn it into an armbar. But instead of doing an armbar, he did like a face buster. That was a cool, like Mello was the MVP in that match because he does a lot of springboard clotheslines and leg drops. And he added those head scissors. He was out there showing people, hey, you better call me up in the main roster come draft in the summer or wherever it is they decide to do it, whenever Stephanie decides to announce it or whatever. But Solo Sikoa was the most over. He was the baby face of the match amongst the CWC. And then so Sikoa is, you know what, all 3 men should go to the main roster. I can't say one because Cameron Grimes overdue. That stink, that boo is when you leave that food in the microwave for too long, or that bread that goes stale and it turns all gangrene. That is Cameron Grimes. Stick him to the main roster, give him his original character, because we all know that NXT is not kayfabe. NXT can be whatever they want it to be.
Yeah, and I said before, like the Cameron Grimes original character, you know, the $1 Million Man 2.0 was basically like the type of character that Vince McMahon would love. Like Vince would see him and he would be like, oh, I got my next Riddle. If you notice, Riddle has done really well on the main roster compared to someone who had serious gimmicks like Killer Cross, who's no longer here, Keith Lee, who's no longer here. You know, Ciampa, I'm praying for him to join Judgment Day because that's his only way he's gonna survive being on the main roster for long.
Rumors Finn Balor.
Oh, Finn Balor. Finn Balor is another one where this latest one, his latest run for him on the main roster
is worse.
Almost makes the first one make him seem like Shawn Michaels in 1996. Like he's a world beater then.
Do you know why? Do you know why it's worse? Because at least the first one is people's go-to. He's the first Universal Champion. Yep. Remember we had a discussion. No matter how crap his career is, he's always gonna be the first Universal Champion. You see what I mean? He's Hall of Fame already. He's peaked on his first month. All it is plus.
Sad but true. But yeah, I just think that Cameron Grimes, if anything, they need to revert course and go back to that gimmick. But
yeah,
that doesn't fit in with what they want to do.
Heath Slater, Jamie Noble kind of hybrid that he was. You know, he was trailer park trash like Jamie Noble, and he spoke like he was Heath Slater.
He was more like $1 Million Man meets Jamie Noble. Like Jamie Noble got rich when he was the trailer park gimmick, but he never went full $1 Million Man. Like I'm gonna pay people to dribble a ball and stuff like that. That was Cameron Grimes as a heel, and they adapted it well when he became a babyface and he feuded with LA Knight. And then ever since they, the 2.0 rebrand, they wanted to make him a sympathetic babyface.
They didn't know what to do with him because, as you mentioned, Booker of the Year, Shawn Michaels, because I don't want him to block me on Twitter because I love the guy. I love you, Shawn. Shawn Michaels, Booker of the Year. He knows how to book one thing. One guy's the cool guy, the other one's a nerdy guy. Because when we get to Wendy Chu and Roxanne, you're gonna notice when I get back into that. One's the cool one, the other one's nerdy. I have to get ready for the breakout tournament.
Speaking of which, we got our first
segue.
Segue. Nice segue. You're getting there. You're getting it. He's getting on.
The young lion is learning. WrestleTalk put me in the main show. I'm ready.
We are the young lions of WrestleTalk. We're like,
No, you're not. You do meetings. This
no.
guy, he's part of the meetings. Yes.
I,
No, don't
I I
stop.
haven't been invited to the meetings yet. I'm still a young lion. We're like, I'm Robinson from 2015 when they were young lions. But yeah,
I do have myself a Tony Storm. Yeah, it's
there
true.
you go. There you
Oh,
go.
you like that? You like that?
We see Mandy Rose going to the tanning salon. She's very nice to the people at the salon. I was like, this is unlike her. But the trick here is Wendy Chu is in the tanning salon wearing her onesie, her shark onesie. She sneaks in and turns up the tanning machine, and the champ is in it. So she burns to a crisp when she comes out. Mandy meets up with Gigi and JC at the salon, who let her know she looks like a damn orange, and and they bail on her for Rose to look in the mirror and scream her anger. This was some really bad acting by everyone except for Wendy Chu.
I'm so confused. Is this meant to be a PG scene of Final Destination 3? Same thing happened. Tanning bed, girl gets locked in. She gets burnt to a crisp, like literal crisp. Like she's dust by the end of it. So I assume, Mandy Rose is going to get killed off at NXT and go back to the main roster. But no, she came back looking, like Taz.
Beat me if you can, survive if I let you. Speaking of Orange, we had Nathan Frazer bring up how orange Mandy Rose looked as he's interviewed by Mackenzie, but he's very excited and nervous about his NXT 2.0 debut against Grayson Waller, which is next. We hear Grayson Waller's music, and we see him greet my boy, the Challenge Godfather, Mark Long, because I can't wait for MTV The Challenge. Get Paramount Plus. Oh, no, you don't have it in the UK. My bad. But yes, Paramount Plus, MTV, The Challenge All Stars 3 that debuts next week. They didn't even plug that. They should have plugged that since he was in the front row, but they didn't. They think everybody's from the UK who doesn't have Paramount Plus, I guess. But we
have
match,
Paramount, but I don't watch the show. I don't know. Like,
you don't have Paramount Plus. You have
Grayson
Paramount
Waller
Plus
was hugging his dad. Grayson Waller came out hugging his dad. That's what I wrote down on my notes. Grayson Waller came out and he was super excited about this old guy he was next to. He started pointing to him. He started telling him, "Come to the backstage area. That's my ring rat."
No, if you remember, that was Mark Long who also celebrated with the Miz after he gave the skull crushing finale to
there you go, Miz
Logan
as well.
Paul
this is my ring
at
rat. Put
WrestleMania.
it backstage.
No, he's a Challenge alumni as well. The Miz, Grayson
Ring
Waller is
rat.
going to be on the Challenge. I'm calling it now. But before we get to the matchup, we go to the Diamond Mine gym where they're training. Roderick Strong starts talking down to the Creed brothers and tells them, as well as Ivy now, whatever he say goes around here, so because he is now the official leader. And yes, there was no mention of Malcolm Bivens here at all, except for them saying that now there's no question that Roderick Strong is the leader. They said that, but they didn't point out who's missing.
That was BS. They could have just said, like, legit, Roderick, to prove how much of a leader he is, he'd be like, I got rid of that guy.
Like, what happened to the days when someone would get released or let go and they would at least say something on commentary like, oh, Roderick fired Malcolm Bivens, so that's why he's not here anymore. They just act like the person didn't exist. But that wasn't as bad as our next segment before we got to the Grayson Waller Nathan Frazer match, as we go backstage and Indy Hartwell is looking at her hand that doesn't even have a ring anymore. She then gets greeted by Duke Hudson. They look at each other. They look at each other for a minute, and Duke goes in for a kiss, and Indy says, "Oh hell no!" And Duke replies, "You wish," and they separate.
That was beautiful. Indy Hartwell sold it well. I felt in my heart and my soul. Shawn Michaels, Book of the Year. He did great in that scene. Indy Hartwell should be in the main roster because that performance was great. Although someone suggested something even better. They should have said that they should have said that Persia Perota and Dexter Loomis ran away together. Leave a note behind. We're leaving, you guys. We're going to Australia.
That's why they're not mentioning them. This is the thing that gets me. Like, at least mention stuff. At least explain it to me why these people are missing. Like, there's some people that might not be on social media, that might not follow Sean Ross Sapp, and might not know about all these releases. So in kayfabe, it's just like you have these people that don't know about these releases that are watching this show and are just like, Well, what happened to Dexter Loomis and Persia Parada?
SP, one second, because we watch rom-coms, right? You know, a lot of rom-coms means, you know, they start off by hating each other. Uh, is this a seed for Duke and Indy? Because if there is, they jump the shark because I cannot take it. Indy's heart belongs to that serial killer. Or put in the main roster, put R-Truth and Indy Hartwell. I'm going to do the R-Truth agenda where you just put people, her husband's not there, she can inherit that storyline. You know, Indy Hartwell could do what Carmella did. Carmella has been as great as she was with R-Truth. Put Indy Hartwell with R-Truth. Mwah, phenomenal, great.
Or they can segue her in nicely and say that she's a marriage counselor because she has experience. She has experiences in marriages, and she can come in and be the marriage consultant for Reggie and Dana and Tamina and Tozawa.
I respect you like D'Angelo respects Santos.
There we go. We'll get to that. See, you did the segue too early. But next up, we had our second match of the evening as it was Grayson Waller going one-on-one with Nathan Frazer. Nathan Frazer's official debut on NXT 2.0. Fast-paced offense from Nathan Frazer early on. Waller gets the advantage by making Nathan chase him onto the entranceway where he tries to sit in one of the beach chairs. And I did also notice, my wife pointed this out for me, all the fans got the memo to dress in beach attire, or did they like give out flowered shirts to everybody? I don't know.
Well, she should know because she's in the know.
Well, I'm just saying she ain't in the know for NXT. She literally was like, she literally was like, do they always have the WWE logo at the bottom right? I'm like, yeah, they do.
So you just confirmed that NXT 2.0 don't do wellnesses. Juice Robinson indeed.
All I will say is that she did tell me one person that we've mentioned on the show did not pass their wellness test last year. That's all I'll say. Frazer picks up the speed again, but Grayson catches him and hangs him up on the top rope before the commercial break. During the break, Waller hits his Hardaway elbow drop off the second rope for a 2 count. Back from break, Grayson hits a side kick and follows with a fireman's carry spine buster for a 2 count. Waller sets up for the stomp, shades of Frazer's mentor Seth Rollins, but Frazer moves and makes his comeback, including that insane suicide dive that we saw last week again. Nathan also reverses the rolling stunner into a super kick for a 2 count. Waller hits a great move. This was the highlight of the match for me, where he does like the John Cena old throwback move, but does it into the unprettier. I thought that
kill
was
switch.
That was the best move. No, it's still the unprettier to me. I don't care.
If Christian calls it kill switch, I'm gonna call it kill switch.
It's the unprettier when Waller.
He never liked it. Listen, Michael Cole's agenda of pushing narratives of words that Christian said it. He never liked it. Kill switch engaged.
When Christian does it, it's the kill switch. It's the kill switch. When everybody else does it, it's the unprettier. Waller gets distracted by Chase U, who they blow the bullhorn, and then he falls off the top rope, neck first on the rope, before Frazer hits a nice Phoenix Splash for the win. Another move out of his mentor's playbook, Seth Rollins. A good match that showed off both men's skills in a major way. But I do want to say I'm not the biggest Grayson Waller fan, but he was the more impressive for me in this matchup.
You know what? We do think alike. This is what we do show together. Nathan Frazer's pre-match interview was better than the recorded interviews he'd done when it looked like he's reading off a cardboard. The fact that it felt more natural, even the whole my nerves, I feel like, you know what, I can relate to it. At least it doesn't sound like I'm Nathan Frazer. I can't wait to come to America and, you know, flippy flip. But yeah, the match was okay. It's kind of weird because, yeah, Grayson Waller, you know, he's got some moves. And Nathan Frazer is like the second coming of, you know, whoever you guys love, you know, Seth Rollins. But the match was okay. It wasn't all that. It was like, and also, what is it with NXT UK guys having cheesy pop, angsty music? First it was A-Kid, now Nathan Frazer. I'm sorry, if we're gonna continue cutting off entrance songs, Nathan Frazer's song needs to be cut off because it's so crappy. And also, Wade Barrett is wrong. Butch and Gunter have never been to NXT UK. What kind of BS is that? That's you look in the record books, they ain't never been there. But yeah,
no, if you check WWE.com, they actually say that Butch is a former NXT UK champion.
Someone senile, VKM. Anyway, Grayson Waller did a great fireman's carry into a sit-out spine buster. That was my favorite thing. And like you mentioned, the blockbuster kill switch.
No, it's the throwback. Come on, man. It's the John Cena move. When you do it
You're
to
right.
the front,
You're
it's
right.
the blockbuster.
Oh,
if you
you
do
know
it
what?
to the
I
back,
deserve
it's
this.
it's the throwback.
Yes. Moving on, but someone who likes horses. Segway.
Vignette. We get a vignette for the women's breakout tournament, and we had Fallon Henley to hype her inclusion in the tournament, and she talks about her love of horses and her horse Luna and how she loves to ride it, and that if she wins the NXT women's breakout tournament, she will bring the win home to her horse Luna.
Oh, she's a great date. That one, isn't it? She loves her horsey. What is she? Like Marissa's sister from the OC with her little horsey. But anyway, yeah.
Whatever happened to Marissa's sister? Like, come on. Don't get me started on OC, the logic holes, man. Don't get me started on the logic holes in OC.
SP and I have a running joke because it's not even a joke. I'm not even lying. What's her name? So, Fallon Henley, and Tatum Paxley, one after the other. One is all glammed up, and the other one, like, listen, not to discriminate, because we of all people who don't like saying, everyone looks alike, but there's nothing that distinguishing difference. One likes powerlifting, the other one likes horses. This one likes horses very much. She talks a lot about her horses. Unless she brings her horses to the ring, unless she becomes a country singer, I don't care about your effing horses.
Unless she's like gonna be like Hangman Adam Page and bring Hunter Horse Helmsley to the ring, I don't want to hear about the horses. Unless she's gonna have an entrance with the horse, I don't want to hear about it. Next we have one of my highlights of the show. Santos Escobar and Santos Escobar and Tony D'Angelo having their sit-down meeting. AJ Galante is there with him, and he's Tony D's consigliere. Santos isn't with it. He says that I thought this was just our families, and Tony explains that he's the consigliere. Man, don't wind up like Joseph Proctor from Power. That's all I'm gonna say.
Don't wind up like Kenny King. Because he was the consigliere for, faction, whatchamacallit,
La faction Ignable.
Yeah, that was he's consigliere of that group.
I was not following those Ring of Honor storylines.
I watch wrestling sometimes. Okay.
Escobar says that he respects the way Tony carries himself, but as a businessman, no. He offers a partnership with Tony D following his lead, but Tony doesn't follow anyone as he's the Don of NXT, and Santos then tries to call a truce. Tony D's consigliere suggests peace for the two families, and they make a deal and a toast to a peace agreement, and feels very much like the mob versus the cartel here. That's what I got. I got the vibes of. We got the cartel of Legado del Fantasma, and we got the mob of Tony D and his family. And then at the end, the cartel of Legado del Fantasma, they come up with a plan as Santos tells Cruz to get the car.
So it's almost offensive how talented Santos Escobar is, because he was phenomenal. I feel like I was watching a scene from like a budget version of Sopranos. He's that, how we hear rumors Vince is looking for his next Mexican star. Where is my next Mexican star? Santos Escobar, who's like 37, because they're they're ageist. Guy's 37. They'll be like, well, Eddie Guerrero was 38 when he died. He's a bit old now. Like, look, now is the time. Put him in the main roster. He's incredible. Legado, the whole entire outfit, they're great. Don't do a hip roll when you release Electro and then put Legado on the main roster. Yeah, Santos is incredible. Tony D played it well. AJ Galante is great to see him. Those two Abercrombie and Fitch models did not fit the part. You talk about miscasting, because you look at LDF, classy, elegant, beautiful, like a cartel, and you're like, Tony D, did you just go to Abercrombie and Fitch one day and you're like, yeah, put on the suit there and come with me,
put on the suit, put on the hat, I'll get you a job. I'll get you a job. You just have to deliver this to the docks.
Yeah.
And
Tony D'Angelo did a great job, but those two Abercrombie and Fitch models, those two Justin Bieber looking mofos, they just ruin it for me. I can't be afraid of them. They're two guys. SP saw me yesterday. I snapped those two like a twig. put them underneath my arm and go plap, plap, flex, flex. Those two guys, I'm sorry, miscast. They should put Fabian Eichner and some other guy.
You called it from the very beginning when Fabian Eichner split with Imperium. That I thought that was a great idea, and that's what they should have done. But they decided to bring in two others from the Performance Center to fill in for Tony D. But this felt very much like Narcos meets Sopranos, so I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this a lot.
Lalo Salamanca reincarnated, even though Lalo gives me Eddie Guerrero vibes. Charming.
We had Mackenzie interviewing the Viking Raiders next, who say there is no doubt that the Crees are world-class athletes, but they have never faced anyone like them. Pretty Deadly interrupts, yes, boy, yes, boy, yes, boy, and says they are facing damaged goods after what they did to the Creeds, and the Raiders aren't happy to be interrupted and threaten Pretty Deadly, who have to back down. They're like, calm down. We don't want that smoke. And then, guys, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. It's about that time you all been waiting for. I know I've been seeing the tweets. Once you see it on NXT 2.0, you know what time it is. It is time for SP-Gacy. You ready, Sat? Are you ready? Are you ready? You were born ready. You love it. You love it, sir. No. I understand that change can be intimidating, but don't be frightened by change. Change is necessary for the world to evolve and to become a better place. I am the change, the barrier breaker, the difference maker. Bars. Tonight, we are on the precipice of a new beginning. You should fear what happens if I don't win the NXT championship. But don't be afraid, because I will change the world.
Thanks, Soki. What did I miss?
You missed the great poem by Joe Gacy, man. You should never miss it. Don't put the sock on what you need to hear. You need to hear.
Sock is a huge fan. Soki Nyangi is a huge fan of them promos. I'm not. Soki will be sitting down every time you do those promos because he loves them. He indoctrinated. He's part of Gacy tribe. He was one of the hooded figures at the end.
But you didn't hear the bars that he dropped? Yo, he dropped bars, yo. He's like, I am the change, the barrier breaker, the difference maker. I was like, oh, bars.
He dropped them. He dropped the soap, yeah. He dropped the bars.
Will you stop? Will you stop? Next one. Next was the women's tag match that we talked about at the top of the show. After that matchup, we get Tatum Paxley vignette to hype her being in the breakout tournament, which starts next week. She talks about powerlifting and how she's always competed against the best, and she's gonna do that in the breakout tournament. And then we get the next scene in what I like to call American Pie, American 2.0. Basically, it's the same type of comedy, but not the American Pie, like 1, 2 American Wedding, the straight to DVD American Pie. So we get earlier today, we see Wendy Chu and Roxanne Perez stalking Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. We get the Baywatch Run to the Water by Toxic Attraction because they're in bikinis and they're all sexy and we're NXT 2.0 and we're horny while Roxanne and Wendy steal their sandals and their car keys. So they have to walk on the hot ground to their car as they're I literally at the end of this was like, I feel like I'm watching a bad Disney Channel sitcom.
Nah, so the positives of this segment, trust me, guys, there's one positives of this segment. I'm gonna be serious for a moment, guys. I'm gonna be serious for a moment. Even taking down the bass, putting in the bass in my voice. What you're looking at, guys, is future NXT Women's Tag Team Champions Roxanne Perez and Wendy Chu. Because obviously Roxanne Perez can't be champion at the moment because she has to pay her dues, and also Nikkita Lyons may win the title, maybe, or Cora Jade. So with Dakota Kai, yeah, I'm breaking kayfabe. With Dakota Kai gone, they need to subplant a new person. Roxanne Perez is now playing the part of Dakota Kai, but only saying. That's why I like
She's
this.
playing Dakota Kai 1.0. The Dakota Kai Team Kick Dakota Kai.
Team Kick Dakota Kai wasn't much of a nerd, but she likes video games.
Gaming,
gamer nerd. Yeah, you're right. You're right. She was.
Remember, she was the one getting bullied by Shayna Baszler.
It was, and then she had to get Io and Kyrie. Anyway, back to the point. What I'm trying to say here, guys, is future tag team champions. That's the only positives, because Shawn Michaels, Book of the Year, he thinks in checkers, not chess.
Dropping those bars. You're like Joe Gacy out here in the streets. All right.
Don't compare me. I love Joe Gacy.
SP-Gacy. There you go.
I love Joe Gacy. I do love Joe Gacy. It's just that I don't know if creative, who's never seen Joe Gacy's character, went just turn up the evil a little bit more. He had a hint of evil, which made it compelling. Now it's like all subtleties out the window. It's went from flirting, not outrightly saying, sexual content. That's why it feels like with Joe Gacy. Instead of hinting and flirting, now I'm gonna tear off your clothes. No, Joe, you used to be a little bit much more subtle with it. He's not subtle with evilness. He even said it.
No,
even Wade Barrett said actually.
I was gonna say when we get to the main event, they've went full on Bray Wyatt, even with his offense. But we'll get to that. Before we got to the main event, we had Viking Raiders going up against the Creed brothers. Viking Raiders came out hot, hit all their double team moves. They hit the Viking experience on Julius for a near fall early. It's all Raiders early on in this one, with Ivar hits a big splash off the apron on Brutus before we go to commercial. The Creeds get an advantage with a double team power bomb, but Eric hits his full Nelson into a knee to the back of the head on Julius for a 2 count. Raiders lay out Julius on the floor, and Ivar hits a Tiger Driver 98 on Brutus for a near fall in the ring. Ivar power bombs Eric on top of Brutus, and then Ivar hits a top rope splash for a 2 count. Julius catches Ivar on the top rope by leaping up Shelton Benjamin style, and he hits a superplex. That gets the crowd into it. This is awesome chance. He goes for the sliding lariat, but Ivar catches him with a spinning heel kick. Raiders hit their double team back suplex into a leg drop. I believe it used to be called the War Machine or something like that back in ROH days. But Brutus breaks up the pin. Eric and Julius are fighting in the ring after Brutus tackles Ivar out of the ring. While the referee is distracted with Brutus and Ivar out of the ring, Roderick Strong comes out of the crowd wearing a hoodie, nails Eric with a running knee strike behind the breast back, and then Julius follows with the sliding lariat for the win. I thought that this was a fun, hard-hitting Hoss type of battle of 2 tag teams. And then post-match, we got the Creeds aren't pleased with Roddy getting involved at all after they see the replay. What did you think of the match, and what do you think about the growing tension between the Creeds and Roderick Strong?
In short, I hate it, but in full about the match. Creed brothers got better singlets. It's kind of like the evolution of singlets has been incredible. The Creed brothers without Malcolm Bivens, you talk about losing your soul. It's like pizza toppings. It's like pizza bases. It's like a pizza base without pizza toppings. Ivy Nile, Malcolm Bivens, like dynamic was incredible. Now when Ivy Nile comes out, was a hype man. I'm saying Mr. Stone potentially taking over Diamond Mine does not appeal to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's the actual rumor, but I'm thinking who else, if they can't trust Roderick Strong to do the heavy lifting, to emote and to verbalize, verbiage, the word salads that WWE likes to provide. The match was okay. I didn't think they had that much chemistry. I feel like the last stretch of the match, when they start pulling out the big tag team moves and the superplex and the leg drop back suplex combos, that was good. But it felt like because of the ad breaks, they were kind of like plodding along, because I feel like the match in a snapshot, if you did like a 20-second highlight of the match, it looks incredible. As the match as a whole, because the Creed brothers had a great performance in that turmoil, so the Creed brothers can go, but it didn't feel like that Creed brother where the straps are down, they're beating the snot at each other. It felt like a first match of 3. this is just we're testing it out. But it was on their spring breaking show, so they had all that time to do well. But for me, it wasn't as great as it could have been. I was kind of a bit bored, to be honest. I'm gonna like when the Viking Raiders were wrestling, I was like, yeah, okay, guys. But when the Creed Bros were wrestling, the Creed Bros are scary. They're like a car crash a bit because they're so strong. They're sometimes a bit reckless with their movements. They'll do a move in their mind, it looks cool. But I'm like, these are wrestlers, not a log of tree like you guys like to train on. So be more careful with it. So yeah.
I think the Crees are just better against like the smaller tag teams, and I would say the same thing about the Viking Raiders. But I've actually seen them have a great type of like hoss battle of tag teams when they verse the Pretty Boy Killers of Keith Lee and Shane Taylor back in the ROH days. Those are the type of matches that this match probably wanted to be. But I thought it was fun for the most part. We got a lot of athleticism from Julius in this one. He played the babyface in Peril. We got Ivar, doing his big moves, the splash off the apron, the splash off the top rope. So I enjoyed it, but I understand if you didn't as much as I did.
I said the final stretch of the match was good. That for me was the best part because it's like it's time to go home. So it's gonna up the momentum. It's gonna make it more fast paced. But when it was slowed down, the action for me wasn't that interesting. To be honest, I felt like both tag teams. I've seen them in better matches. So that's why I was a bit disappointed that they couldn't have that chemistry together. It was almost like, Head Shrinkers and Steiner Brothers WrestleMania 9. Could have been better, but it was great in little
small doses.
Yeah.
Small doses. It's fine.
Yeah.
What do you think about Roderick Strong requesting his release from WWE? That was reported by Sean Rossap of Fightful Select, I believe, the day before yesterday. So what do you think about that news?
I'm not shocked. I mean, you and I have been talking about how Roderick Strong have not had a great win-loss record in 2022. In terms of match quality, he's proven he's arguably the best wrestler in NXT. I don't know. A lot of people are going to say, this guy's better. Roderick Strong will knee you in the flipping face. Roderick Strong will chop your chest and you would have it for 4 or 5 weeks. Ask Bryan Danielson, he defended with welts. Like, Roderick Strong, when he wrestles like his family's in peril. Like, if he doesn't win this match, everything goes booty up. But yeah, he wants to go to AEW. Like how WWE wants FTR, they just want to keep great wrestlers that can help AEW do well. They don't care for him. They're like, aren't you 40 yet? No, I'm 39. Aren't you 40 yet? You're done. You know what I'm saying?
They look at their watch, you're like, nah, you're 40. You're 40 now.
He goes, no, I was born in 1982. Few months. Well, Chris Lindsay, you go be a trainer. They're trying to make him to a trainer. You can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to put him out to pasture. But he's like, my wife is there. My friends are there. They're doing a cool, storyline that's brewing. Let me go over there. Because you saw how Bobby Fish got treated as soon as he got to AEW. Some people were confused because he was treated like a jabroni when he came back to NXT. He's like, Bob Fish getting pushed. I'm like, that's former ROH television champion. Roderick Strong is former Mr. ROH. He was the man who embodied everything. Yeah, so he is a square. Wait, with square in a circle peg or circle in a square peg? Yeah, he's a circle in a square peg. He is a professional wrestler. Get his professional wrestling ass out of there.
Get him off the sports entertainment show immediately.
He does not sports entertain, but I love the fact he doesn't. People make fun of the fact that not. Real life, you're not gonna meet a lot of people with charisma. You're gonna meet some people who's kind of straightforward. And I like the fact that Roddy's straight going and who's knee you in the face is the leaping and he chop you and he break your back. He's the Messiah of the backbreaker. Show some respect. I want him to go to AEW because I want the best Roddy. He's almost in the twilight of his career, not yet, but he's almost. So I wanted to enjoy the fruits of his labor. Free Finn Balor, free Roderick Strong.
The reason why I want Roddy to go to AEW, to leave WWE, is not just because he's a great wrestler, because he is, and I've been a fan of his since like 2005, 2004 when I discovered Ring of Honor. I want to see Roddy because it fills in the Undisputed Elite. You can have Adam Cole, the Red Dragon, and Roderick Strong. They can turn on the Young Bucks. Then we'll have the return of Kenny Omega, and then it's the perfect setup for Blood and Guts, and then Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks got to fill in that 4th spot with who? Reuniting with Hangman Adam Page. So we have the OG Elite versus the Undisputed Elite. That is money. I need that in my life. I need that in my veins. And especially if Roddy is on an NXT contract at 30 days, a month goes by very fast. It could come just in, he could get released just in time for Blood and Guts in the summer, and we can have OG Elite versus Undisputed Elite. The Elite deserve their Blood and Guts. They got denied it the first time. The first Blood and Guts was supposed to be the Elite versus Red Dragon. We never got that. The Elite versus Inner Circle. Inner Circle got their Blood and Guts against the Pinnacle. Now the Elite needs theirs.
SP should know because he's now Bullet Club adjacent. Too sweet.
I'm Bullet Club affiliated. I'm gang affiliated.
Him and Jay White over there chucking it up on Twitter. Look at those two besties. Get them off the screen.
That's my friend, the catalyst of professional wrestling. You're welcome. We had a couple of backstage segments before we got to the main event. Well, we followed up with the sit-down meeting. We go back to the setting for the sit-down meeting where Santos Escobar is waiting for AJ Galante after he sees off Tony D and the mob. Santos says, if Tony loses Galante, then he will be in a bad position. So he knees him in the gut, and then he kidnaps him along with Legado del Fantasma. I thought that this was so outrageous, but I loved it.
In what way? Because I put it in my notes. LDF going back to the roots of kidnapping people in vans.
Exactly. That's what I was like. Yes.
Go back to your roots. Yeah.
Go back to your roots. Go back to your roots of kidnapping people, because that's how Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde joined Legado del Fantasma to begin.
I want to see the secret footage when Elektra got indoctrinated the same way. She got kidnapped from a wrestling school, maybe, and put into a van.
Probably so. We also had Alba Fire vignette. She will debut next week under her new name, the artist formerly known as Kaylee Ray. And then we went backstage where the doctor tells Brooks Jensen he will have a short recovery time. And the doc asks Jensen, why is his right hand so much stronger than his left? Masturbation joke. Yeah. And apparently he will have 6 to 8 weeks of recovery time.
The thing is, if they were going to do that joke, where was the reaction when he had to realize he can't use his right hand? I thought that was the punchline. He got 8 weeks of not using his right hand. I feel like the delivery of the line was so hokey, so bad that even American soap operas would be like, nah, it's not for me. Because what doctor says, why is your right hand, stronger than your other? It's like, dude, he's right-handed. And that's what it is. It was bad, man. Whoever wrote that, Shawn Michaels is a busy man. Being Booker of the Year, you have to look at things at all angles. Sometimes there's a minor oversight or undersight. So, yeah, Shawn, fire whoever did that segment. Horrible.
That was
Super kick him. Stan. Super kick Stan.
So bad. But finally, we had our main event of NXT Spring Breakin', Bron Breakker versus Joe Gacy. The entrances, Joe Gacy, it turns the picture into black and white. And before Bron Breakker comes out, he turns the color back on. He's wearing the same singlet that his father wore on the first Monday Night Raw in 1993. A nice tidbit by the commentators for once there. We got Breakker chasing Gacy early on and tells Joe that he will pay for what he did to his family, while Gacy says, I did this for you. Bron has control during the early portion until action spills to the floor, where Gacy does a swing on the apron and hits a lariat. Back from break, Gacy does his own version of the Bray Wyatt crab pose on the top rope, and all of his offense, like Gacy used to do some athleticism, even though he's doing this gimmick, but all of his offense was very much like Bray Wyatt. He did like power moves and stuff like that. He does like an Alabama slam. He does a reverse DDT. He it's like weird. I was like thrown off by this a lot. He does a sit out power bomb. Breakker hits a second rope bulldog, shades of his father, as well as the Frankensteiner and a belly to belly for a near fall. Gacy does in the end, he misses his handspring lariat, and Breakker follows up by catching him with the spear for the win. I thought that there was too many miscues here. It was like a lot of off timing, but otherwise, the finish and stuff was solid. This was just fine. It was just there kind of as the main event. And then post match, we ended the show with Breaker celebrating. And then we see two druids who are in the crowd during the early portion of this match. They get up on the apron and they're wearing red masks. And then we cut to black. So we think that's a cliffhanger, but the last time we got a cliffhanger with this very same storyline, they just followed it up the next week by saying, oh, nothing happened. We returned Rick Steiner back home. He's fine.
This match, I guess, further confirmed that Bron Breakker needs at least another few months of seasoning because he botched two Steiner staples. He botched the Frankensteiner. There's a miscue in timing there. It was more like a head scissors. Them little minor head scissors you do. That was more of a Hurricane Rana than a Frankensteiner, actually. So that's sacrilege because Scott Steiner hates the Hurricane Rana.
He does.
Yes, he does. And there was a mistiming on the belly to belly. So that was awkward. Joe Gacy went down like he's Viscera or something, or he's Mabel or like Yokozuna. It was kind of like it was awkward putting him down like he weighed more than he actually looks or whatever. But you're right. They've gone full on wrestle crap, full on Bray Wyatt. That kind of confirms that Bray Wyatt was wrestling under character and it wasn't using full moveset. It's a shame. Unless someone went to Joe Gacy, hey, Vince likes you, you might go up to the main roster, but these are the kind of things he won't tolerate. You have to change up a little bit. So I assume they're doing closer inspection. Sanga the Thunder wasn't seen on this show. He might be on the chopping blocks. A lot of people getting fired. Apparently there's more. So maybe they're like, Sanga. I was throwing it out there. But yeah, Black Scorpion was in the audience for some reason. It wasn't a Sting match. It looked like it's Black Scorpion. All it's missing is a tiger and a fan getting turned into a tiger or whatever it was. And in the end, you had two druids dressed like characters from Gotham, some Batman villains, some Red Mask or Red Death or whatever it was. But yeah, the match was okay. It was a bit of a shame because it's the main event. And like you said, the best match was the opening match. And Bron Breakker still got a lot more seasoning to do, but he's going to get there. But I don't know if I want this feud to continue. Like, I don't know if it can be salvaged because this feud is the reason why even more people saying NXT 2.0 is whack. Like, NXT 2.0 had its charm, but whatever charm it's had, it's gone.
As far as the guys, and Bron Breakker, they need to give him something new. Something new needs to go on with Bron Breakker because this whole feud did not do much for him. I guess they were trying to show more depth by having the mind games be played and having the dark, spooky stuff and him reacting to it, but it didn't work for me. It didn't work at all. But that is all for the NXT 2.0 NXT Spring Break-In review. But Sat, we got some Mochachats in the chamber. Let's hear from the people. WrestleTalk.com/support. Send in those Mochachats. Last call for Mochachats. Sat, what we got going on?
Mocha boys for the people. Here we are. This is Rob Zilla. He says, hello, you lovely Mocha boys. Yes, I think Nikkita Lyons could be WWE's next big star, along with Ivy Nile. Also, I know I put you on the spot last week, SP3. Your answers were lit. Cannot wait for the reboot. Would love to see you on No Rolls Bar.
We'll make it happen. We'll let Adam know. Let Adam know. Someone message Adam and let him know I'm down to be on No Rolls Bar.
The next one we have Brian Bukowski. He says, Mocha for life. Always love to see the professional SP3 go up against the walking insanity that is Sat. Also, shout out to NXT 2.0 for having the best women's division in terms of screen time and card placement in mainstream wrestling by sheer technicality.
I love that. By sheer technicality. That's a great Mocha chat right there. Love it. Love it so much.
Yeah, Brian, the walking insanity. I may make that my new Twitter name because I am. SP3 is professional. By the same time, he's batshit brazy himself.
You know it. Very much so.
Sonny Panama the third. I'm on to you.
Hey, I have split personalities. It happens on Moon Knight, so it can happen to me.
One more chat in the bank. We've got Bored Dude 630. He says, Holy cracker jacks. My Degrassi dude made it to the main roster. Love WrestleTalk. Keep it up, fellas.
Thank you, brother dude, and we'll be back with Degrassi Dudes on Friday over on Fightful Overbook. So check that out for sure if you want to talk some Degrassi with me. I gotta freshen up and watch some more so I can have better answers when we get those Mochachats like that. But I know we gotta run down some special names Sat as well. So you can do that for me.
Oh, I will. I will. You get ready. These are the people that makes things. They're the man in the chair. If you watch Spider-Man, you know you got the man in the tower and the man in the chair. These are people in the chair. Shout out to our mod team. We love you. Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to Andy. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Chris P. Shout out to Gregory. Shout out to John. Shout out to Les. Shout out to Nad. Shout out to Rob. And of course, shout out to the hardest working woman, one of the hardest working women in WrestleTalk, Mod Mother Jenna. I love you. Mod Mother and the team, we love you guys. Mods, you guys rock. You guys make the chat clean. You guys get rid of any trolls because they got keyboard warriors in there. But these mods, they whoop the booty.
Booty, booty, booty. Yes, we appreciate our mod team so much. They are so great. So they do their job so well. The BWO, the Blue Wrench Order in full effect. We love you all. And that has been all, as you hear my daughter in the background. She's ready for me to be out. It's about that time. But let's put our thumbs in the middle, Sat. You know, the thumb wars that we usually do. Thumbs up or thumbs down for NXT Spring Breaking in 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna go thumbs up. I thought it was a 6.5 out of 10 show. I thought it wasn't that bad. I thought it was just I grade this on a curve. It's like if all the kids in the class is doing like 65s, so there's kids that do 65, they get 100s because you grade it on a curve. I grade NXT on a curve, so a 6.5 out of 10.
You agenda shipped because you realize the future is Gacy. You're like, oh, if Gacy gets more screen time, I get to read more of the promos. Yay, me. But with me, there's going to be more sock activity if you do that promo again. So, yeah, the match is 6 out of 10. Nikkita Lyons has improved in the ring. Carmelo Hayes is ready to be world champion because if Bron Breakker has another performance like that in the next show, I'm sorry, give the title to someone else.
I want Carmelo Hayes to be the next challenger. That's how you get some quality matches out of Bron Breakker. So that needs to be the move. But we need to move on out, Sat. We will be back here next Wednesday, 7 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. Eastern time. But of course, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified. WrestleTalk Podcast YouTube channel. You got the Dynamite review tomorrow at 3 p.m. UK, 10 a.m. Eastern time with Ali and Luke. On Friday, you got the magazine show with Damn, I think it's going to be Denise and Adam Blampier. So you can check that out on Friday. On Saturday, it's not going to be LIW, Sat. It's actually going to be me and I believe Pete. Me and Pete. SP3. There we go. SP3.
SP3, yeah.
SP3 on Saturday. We're going to be reviewing SmackDown and Rampage. So stay locked here. Like this video, share it with your friends. We'll be back next Wednesday for your weekly dose of Mocha 2.0 with that BBC beautiful black content. Yes. So for Sad E, I'm SP3, and this has been Mocha 2.0.
Shout out to the mod team. We're out of time.